When the pandemic first reared its head, California Governor Gavin Newsom was quick to assume the role of dictator. Very quick. He said he was helping, but what he did was demolish our rights. Californians soon realized that Newsom's orders have more to do with politics than they do with science. And now as Newsom begins to lift the draconian restrictions, we can't help but notice how each time he does, it coincides with a major milestone in the effort to recall him. When the recall Newsom effort first began, he said it couldn't be done. He said that it was a Trump conspiracy, and every copy of the petition to recall him stated the Trump conspiracy defense on it. Either Newsom grossly underestimated just how many Trump supporters there are in the state of California, or it was truly a bipartisan effort. We believe both statements are true. As we've shown in earlier videos, President Trump had a lot more support in the state of California than the media ever let on. And as the Recall Gavin organizers have stated, the movement to recall Gavin was the great uniter. Democrats, Republicans, and Independents all want him out. This isn't hard to understand. Even before the lockdowns of 2020, Newsom was failing in the eyes of his constituents due to the rising homelessness, skyrocketing taxes, and oppressive over-regulation of businesses and individuals. But in 2020, he really blew it. Newsom declared a state of emergency on March 4th, 2020. At that time, there had only been one death attributed to the virus. The declaration gave him dictatorial powers, and he was quick to abuse them. Between March 4th and April 22nd, Newsom signed 32 orders that bypassed the state legislature, changed laws, and stripped Californians of their rights. Each time the state of emergency was about to expire, he found a reason to declare a new one. California spent the year of 2020 under one-man rule, the rule of Dictator Newsom, and the state suffered because of it. Regardless of the political affiliation, almost everyone in the state of California has felt the pain of Newsom's orders. Though it was an unthinkable shock, we went along with the 2 weeks to slow the spread stay-at-home order in March 2020, until 2 weeks became 2 months. Sending $1 billion to China for face masks raised our ire even more. Los Angeles and San Francisco are home to some of the largest apparel manufacturing districts in the world. The garment factories sat idle. Why then did he contract with an auto manufacturer in China to make what we could do better in California? We'll never know. His deal was done without consulting the California legislature, and his office refused to release any information whatsoever on the transaction. Californians of all political parties found this upsetting. Small, non-essential businesses and restaurants, churches, and theaters were extremely hard hit by Newsom's orders. And we saw the hypocrisy. Churches had to close, but strip clubs could remain open. Small businesses were ordered closed, while their big counterparts could remain open. Restaurants could only do takeout, but liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries could remain open. On several occasions, Newsom began to relax restrictions, only to order everything closed again within a week or two of reopening. Essentially, Californians remained closed for a year. The holiday season neared, and at that time, most people thought things were starting to slowly return to normal. But nope, Newsom would have none of that. Newsom ordered Californians to stay at home for Thanksgiving and not spend the day with family. Just after that, he was caught having dinner at the expensive French Laundry restaurant, indoors, with lobbyists from the medical industry. He apologized for his lapse in judgment, then promptly placed the entire state under a stay-at-home order through the holidays. The Christmas season is when most retail businesses make the most of their money. Those that have been able to survive lockdowns thus far were counting on it to pull them out of the massive hole they were in because of it. We saw the shopping districts on Magnolia Street, Robertson Boulevard, deserted during their busy season. Rodeo Drive was all decked out in Christmas lights, with no one there to see the decorations. There are the outdoor dining areas that have been built out into the streets at great expense to comply with the earlier restrictions, sitting empty. The sidewalk cafes in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills and around LA, deserted. And there are the for lease signs. Anywhere you look in Los Angeles, for lease signs replace the signs of businesses that once operated there. To these people, the political parties don't matter. Their livelihoods have been destroyed. They want Newsom out. The lockdown was extended longer and longer until January 22nd, 2021, when Newsom very abruptly removed the stay-at-home order. And what changed? The cases being reported had not dropped. The hospital capacity had not increased. But there were two things that were different. Biden had just been inaugurated into the White House, and the Recall Newsom petition had reached the required number of signatures to recall him. Still, many restrictions remained, and the movie theaters, entertainment venues, and theme parks, which were the first to be closed, remained closed. Right up until the day the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign announced that it had reached over 2 million signatures, and that 1.8 million of them had been verified. Only 1.4 million are necessary to force the recall election. The Recall Gavin campaign announced this news on March 10, 2021. On March 11, 2021, Newsom shouted to the heavens, "Hey, California, you can reopen now. Hey, theaters and theme parks, you can reopen now. It's safe." Now that's what I call science. California has shocked the nation. It stood up to a dictator and it won. The nation should pay close attention, because what happens in California sweeps the nation. And California has just sent a strong message to an elected official that those who fail to represent us will not have careers in politics for long.